Tonight, Memorial Stadium is buzzing with events new and old, updates on Clemson's Greek life standings, and a new mascot on the Bowling Green campus. News nationally to locally, this is Clemson News Now.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Brian Warner.
And I'm Jordan York. Today marks the 24th anniversary of the tragedy that took place in New York City on September 11th, 2001. In memoriam, this morning was the third annual 9/11 Memorial Stadium stair climb here at Clemson University.
The event is a heartfelt tribute to those who lost their lives in the tragedy 24 years ago. This morning, military personnel, first responders, ROTC, and university students joined together to walk throughout the rows of the stadium. The event specifically honors the Clemson University Police Department, Fire Department, and Clemson Emergency Medical Services, who are dedicated to keeping our campus safe.
This year, the closing remarks were given by Clemson Interim Fire Chief Aaron Bunyea, who served and was deployed to Qatar 9 days after the attacks. The climb is a way for the Clemson, Anderson, Greenville, and Spartanburg communities to come together, honoring the memory of the lives lost on 9/11 and empowering the first responders dedicated to continually serving our communities.
Staying in the stadium, Death Valley Nights are on the horizon as Clemson announced on September 2nd that concerts are coming back to Memorial Stadium. Clemson will be partnering with Clemson Ventures, an affiliated organization of Clemson Athletics that aims to maximize revenue, including the use of Death Valley for non-sports endeavors. Additionally, Clemson will collaborate with Does Entertainment to bring the artists right to our own backyard.
Shows are scheduled to begin in spring 2026 with headliners yet to be announced. Athletic Director Graham Neff expressed excitement about the partnerships, believing that the return of concerts will tie the university to the greater upstate area and further enhance the student experience. With past performers as iconic as Elton John, Billy Joel, and U2, the release of upcoming artists is highly anticipated as the spring concert season approaches.
Death Valley is also looking a little different this year, as Clemson's Memorial Stadium is selling alcohol to the fans for the first time.
While alcohol sales were originally announced in March of 2025 and sold during last year's spring game, the true impact of this change was tested at Clemson's season opener against LSU on August 30th, during which the venue sold 45,000 units of alcohol and grossed over $467,000 during the course of the game.
Drinks were sold at portable Aramark kiosks within the stadium, regulating the careful scanning of identification to ensure that all alcoholic beverages are exclusive to fans that are over 21. Despite precautions, local and university police reported 12 arrests and 28 ejections from the stadium, raising significant concern in longtime Tiger fans that are apprehensive to this change.
Regardless of these incidents, however, Clemson City Police Chief Jorge Campos points out that it will be hard to distinguish between the effects of pregame tailgating and the possible influence of in-stadium alcohol sales. The report also considers that the number of ejections and arrests was not unusually high for nighttime games in the past. Despite the wide range of opinions regarding this new concession offering, the true impact on fans and the game day experience will come with time as the Tigers continue their season.
With exciting things happening in Death Valley, the only thing left is what's happening on the field and the courts. Angelina, what do you have for us?
Thank you, Brian. We're going to start tonight off with our lone unbeaten team of the fall, and it's the biggest surprise of the season. Clemson Volleyball is 6-0 for just the 10th time in the program's 49-year history and the first time since all the way back in 2015. The Tigers took home their 6th win of the season by knocking off Georgia in the ACC-SEC Challenge on Tuesday at the Derby Gym. The Tigers split the first 2 sets with the Dogs, but ultimately were able to overpower Georgia and take the victory in 4 sets. Mia McGrath recorded her 700th kill during the victory, and what better way to reach a milestone than to bring home the win while doing so. McGrath and company look to continue their winning ways against Elon earlier tonight and did so. So their focus is now on USC Upstate tomorrow night live at Derby. First serve against the Spartans is set for 6 p.m. As for Clemson United, the number 2 team in the nation fell in a shocker on Tuesday at historic Riggs Field to the Commodores of VCU by a score of 2-1. No need to hit the panic button just yet. However, as the Tigers sit at 3-1-1 overall, and they are still one of the most high-powered offenses in the nation. They are led by sophomore Ransford Gann, who has 6 goals on the season, including scoring twice in matches against UAB and Pittsburgh. The Tigers look to get back in the W column as they head to the Lone Star State this weekend to take on the SMU Mustangs in Dallas. And finally, the Clemson football season hasn't exactly been what everyone expected to this point. After a disappointing loss to LSU to open the season and a less than satisfying win against Troy last Saturday, the Tigers trailed 16-3 at halftime against Troy, and it looked like the current number 8 team in the nation was about to see a major upset. However, Dabo's halftime locker room speech proved effective enough to get the job done. The defense was dominant in the second half, holding Troy scoreless, and the Tigers notched their first win of the season, 27-16. The road doesn't get any easier as the now number 12 team in the nation matches up in Atlanta with the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets to begin the ACC playoff this weekend. Kickoff is set for noon at the Bobby Dodd Stadium. That's all I've got for you now. Back to you.
Thanks, Angelina. A lot of exciting things across Clemson sports. Recently, 3 Clemson University fraternities moving away from the stadium have been placed on probation after multiple hazing incidents were reported.
The 3 fraternities were Kappa Sigma, Sigma Nu, and Phi Delta, and they're all facing disciplinary action with probation periods extending to 2029. Kappa Sigma is accused of forced food consumption, sleep deprivation, and requiring personal servitude of new members. Sigma Nu reportedly forced pledges to lay face down on the floor, and Phi Delta probation involves allegations of blindfolding new members, driving them to unknown locations, and making them crawl on the ground.
In these times, Cindy Hips, mother of Tucker Hips, is reminded of her son who died nearly 11 years ago when reportedly on a run with his fraternity in 2014. With the 11th anniversary coming up, Hips advocates for harsher penalties to prevent hazing, as well as voicing the Tucker Hips Transparency Act, which allows public access to information about violations of the conduct of student organizations.
As Cindy Hips continues to honor her son's memory through her advocacy, it reminds us just how important it is to stay connected with loved ones and check in on one another.
With school back in session, students are starting to get back into the swing of things. For some, that means packing up and moving to Clemson from across the country, or even from other countries. Starting a new school year often brings a mix of excitement and challenges, especially when our expectations can look different from reality. Staying connected with family, friends, and having a strong support network can make all the difference.
To help students navigate the transition back to school, here are some practical ways you can stay connected as the semester gets started. Calling friends and family keeps you updated with their lives and makes you feel connected to home. Joining clubs and organizations is another way to feel connected to other students while doing something you love. Social media is a great way to stay connected with old friends and connect with new ones, and being able to see what everyone is up to is a great way to engage with others.
According to Harvard alumni Noah Feldman, all it takes is actively making the time. Finding opportunities to connect can be hard as a student swamped with homework and exams, but ultimately making the most of your college experience relies most on the connections you make with other people.
We now turn to Jackson, bringing us all of the weather updates as we head into this weekend. Jackson, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Brian. Well, Tigers, even though fall is almost upon us, the summer weather is still in full swing. It looks like we've got a couple lake days ahead of us. Starting off this weekend, Friday and Saturday are going to be sunny with highs around 80 and lows around 60 degrees. So you might want to bring a jacket for your 8 a.m.s, because the lows in the morning are going to be around the mid-60s. However, ditch the sweatshirts by noon because the highs are going to be up to the mid-80s. Enjoy the sunshine and warm weather that's still ahead. Well, I hope you all have had a great few weeks of classes, Tigers. Back to you.
And for our final story, Freddie and Frida Falcon have a new mascot on the scene, or should I say, mascot, as Bowling Green State University welcomes the newfound fame of Pudge the Cat. Long snapper George Carlson first introduced Pudge to cheer up his team after a fellow player endured a recent injury.
Pudge, a 3-year-old short-haired Persian, made a memorable appearance on the field during the team's victory over Lafayette, and has quickly progressed from a fan favorite to a national internet sensation. Carleton reports Pudge being invited to everything from interviews to photo shoots to widespread media exposure, even enjoying his own personal feline backpack and Pudge security during pregame appearances. The team even went so far as to give Pudge a custom helmet and jersey for his time spent on the sidelines.
Despite this lighthearted feline fun in the Falcon locker room, to Carlson, Pudge is much more than an iconic symbol of his university. Carlson credits Pudge for helping him stay connected to his dad and sister while away, and for reminding him to count his blessings with a team that feels like a second home. In his last year of eligibility, Carlson will continue to include Pudge to boost morale for his beloved team and university. From humble locker room cat to the internet's favorite feline friend, Pudge is certainly an inspiration to athletes and students like Carlson who want to make the most of their precious college years.
Well, Tigers, that is all for this week. Stay tuned next week for the latest news in Tiger Town. I'm Brian Warner.
And I'm Jordan York.